So this is Dr. Weinrep's letter from 1994, but July, right? Now, she says, Shane Lee was seen by me in 1990. At that time, he did not exhibit any delusions, religious or other, hallucinations, or any psychotic process. Symptoms with oh, sorry, I'm trying to read that. Though process and thought process, sorry, associations were logical. Coherent and goal oriented. So that means I was thinking normally in 1990. By 1994, I had been exposed to my shipmates' harassment of me and failure to train me for over 2.5 years. So this is the following year, right, when she wrote this letter for me, right? Alright. I know. The likelihood of my having delusions or psychotic thinking is nil, which is another way of saying non-existent, sir. I have worked many years with acute and chronic schizophrenics. And in fact, we're in a VA day treatment center for this population, right? It is my strong clinical belief that this patient was not exhibiting any symptoms of schizophrenia or psychosis during our time I saw him. And again, her signature looks similar. Oops. Not that one. All right. mm, here and here, and I'm not that good of a copyright artist, right, to do that different of a handwriting, right? Mm-hmm. And here she's a clinical psychologist, and here she's a clinical psychologist, right? All right. See, that's the problem with these charts on YouTube. They're not listening to my doctors. And at one point, I was saying, before being on the ship with those guys for 2.5 years, right? Now, meeting Sheena was the catalyst between the shipmates and me in messing up our relationship, perhaps even, right? If it was the shipmates and not me, right? Now, does Sheena sound like an African name or an English name, even though Tanya Roberts, a white girl, played Sheena, the Jungle Queen, from the comic books? Right. Now, if I get letters from a girl named Sheena, and my shipmates give me the mail, who's interceding there? The shipmates. The shipmates, right? They give me the mail. I'm not the person who gets the mail for them. They were getting it for me and giving it to me, right? I don't know how long Sheena didn't write to me, but by a month's time, I was trying to ask her to marry me and stuff like that, and was unaware of any real problems we had, right? All I was sending her were Bible studies from the church I was going out to, unless something the pastor said offended her, right? Which I didn't know about, right? I know. I know. I didn't realize he was teaching something in error or not, right? He kind of sounded like a pope, he's the pope and everybody else is under him, right? And you got to follow the pastor because he watches for your soul type situation, right? But there again, he was trying to jerk off, if you understand the terminology there, with some of his male conjugants, whatever you want to call it, congregation. He was masturbating with them, according to rumors I heard. I didn't do it personally, right? But I knew of it because I asked Pastor Richard Brand about becoming a unit with the church and what that meant. Well, he spoke of this briefly, saying if me and a brother were feeling anxious or something, right, for sex, instead of having sex, we could masturbate or something, right? Along those lines, right? With another brother, right? And it wouldn't be shunned in this particular church, right? If we were to do that, right? Now, he also taught a different doctrine than I was taught in the South. See, in the South, if you do that, you're shunned, right? I know. Yeah. I told you about the incident with Shane Sanders, a different guy with the same first name, whose parents probably watched the cowboy movie Shane in the TV series, one that starred Alan Ladd and the other one starring David Carradine, right? Before he went on to do, right, the movie, the TV show Kung Fu, right? Though this is about a white guy in going to China and learning Shaolin monk techniques of self-defense, right, or fighting style, right, whatever you want to call it, right. From China, he was trained in the temple over there and came to America and started doing Kung Fu, right, to defend against people who are being wronged, right? Now, I also have to sometimes show, I think, Dr. Weinrep social security number. I'm not doing that on purpose, Dr. Weinrep, but I don't know what to do about it. But mine's here too, right, by the way, on the bottom there. But, and I didn't block that one out. I'm not trying to expose her social security number, but you're not supposed to take or assume another person's identity either. I know that too, right? Now, after that, when I went psychotic because of the Sheena incident, I was more in the marrying mood and trying to find a wife or a girlfriend. That's what you're confused about too, right? The Bible also says, he or they that findeth a wife finds a good thing. Right. The wife isn't necessarily a good or bad person herself until she tries to become someone's wife or not. Right. Now, if she's with another man, she's not supposed to do that. Right. But if she's divorced or if she's has a child with another man and is a single mom or something, that's different. Right. Or again, has not yet married a man or had sex with a man, then they're considered a maiden or a virgin. Right. Now, there's two classes of women a man can be with, right? A virgin, or, which means an unsexual woman, one who has not yet engaged in sex but may have kissed or another man but not had sex with one. Right. Right. That's different too. Right. And then there's the kind who do have sex but don't get pregnant. They're still virgins in that they have not had a child yet, like with the woman at the well. Right. She's still considered a virgin because she had not yet conceived with the man. Right. Yet for some reason, Jesus stayed around the Samaritans 2 days, an extra day. And he came there talking to the woman first and used her to reach the men. Is she the apostle to the Samaritans whom Jesus sent in the Father's name to bring the men to the church? Why wouldn't Jesus use a woman instead of a man? Especially if you say he's a single person himself. You don't know if he married or not. Right. Well, if he's unmarried in Jewish law, he can take her as a concubine. Right. In Jewish law and not legally marry her. She was already with the dude who she wasn't legally married to anyway. And there's a mystery there that the author didn't think he needed to answer. Right. But think about it. He stayed there, unlike other places, an extra day. The only other time he stayed 2 days was at the death of Lazarus. Right. Well, there ain't nothing you can do. The man's already dead. Well, it's 2 more days. I mean, don't you get it? Now, he's either ushering in life or he's trying to resurrect someone from the dead. It was the only time he stayed 2 days somewhere else. Think about it, what I mean. He's offering the woman living water that shall not die. Now, if you're having sex with a male, a fluid comes out of the female, right? Or the male, the female. The female feels a fluid inside of her body when the male has sex with her, right? And he finishes or ejaculates into her, right? Medical terms, sorry, YouTube, right? This is an adult conversation, and that's why most of my videos are for not children, but age restricted, right? Or for adults, right? And that's the point too, right? You're not listening to people, right? You're being carnally minded. You're not giving people a chance to repent or get better, even if they went a little schizophrenic, for a reason, right? Someone was interfering in my dating life where I was confused about what was going on with my new girlfriend who we had had sex. Right? I know. And I wasn't trying to screw her over or do her wrong because we had sex. Right? I was trying to do her right. Yeah. Not wrong. Right. Why are you so worried about something no one can prove? Either. Right. All right. Have a good day.